Beer. I like it. I'm not a huge drinker of beer, but I enjoy a cold one from time to time. And I always love looking through the aisles at the store, seeing the craft beers and all the cool illustrations on them. It seems like they really let the illustrators go nuts on those beer cans sometimes. And it's always been a bit of a bucket list thing for me to do a beer can illustration one day. And my friends, that bucket list item might be checked off pretty soon because an awesome little brewery in Montreal, Quebec has reached out to me recently to design a beer can for them. I'm so excited! So of course, my response to that was, heck yes, I'd love to do that. What's the concept? What's the idea? I want to take you on this journey with me. So the name of this brewery is Cote et Beausoleil. Cote
à Beausoleil.
But they recently wanted to brew a new stout for their brewery to add to the line of their beers that they offer. So because stout kind of has that deep, strong, masculine, rugged kind of vibe usually associated with it, they thought, why don't we use for the can a strong man from the past? You know those old-timey strong men that would lift up huge things? They still have them today, but there was one guy in particular that they thought would be a cool person to put on this can. That of the French-Canadian legend Louis Cyr. I believe that's how you say his name, and let me tell you a little bit about this guy. Louis Cyr was born in 1863 in Quebec, Canada, and was the second of 17 children and the oldest boy in the family. From a very young age, Louis displayed extraordinary strength. When he was 19 years old, in front of a large crowd, Cyr lifted a large rock from the ground to shoulder height. That rock, 517 pounds. And from that point on, Louis Cyr's exploits and reputation continued to grow more and more. He did all kinds of crazy feats of strength, including things like lifting a platform on his back holding 18 large men for a total of just over 4,300 pounds. Lifting a 534-pound weight with one finger, pushing a freight car up an incline, restraining two horses from basically ripping him apart. He beat the world bent press record and conquered the heaviest weight lifted with one hand when he successfully lifted a total of 273.25 pounds. And the most iconic image of him seems to be a portrayal of that specific feat of strength. The Canadian shattered all kinds of records and became known as the world's strongest man. He was a farmhand, a lumberjack, a weightlifter, a strongman, a policeman. Louis Cyr was something else. Turns out they actually made a movie about this guy, which I chose to watch for my own research purposes. It's actually available on YouTube if you want to check it out. And if that movie was even half true, then yes, I must admit, that man was indeed quite strong. So because he was a performer at a circus, we thought, why not have Louis in the middle of the illustration, and surrounding him could be like some circus animals with a cool background. So I grabbed my sketchbook, I did my best to lay out a rough kind of idea of what it would be, and we came to an agreement of what would be cool, so let's work with that. All that's left now is to finalize it. Let's go. So typically when I'm illustrating on a computer, I'm using Photoshop, which is all based on pixels and what they call rasterized graphics, which is probably the most like painting on an actual canvas or drawing on an actual piece of paper. But then other times you kind of need to jump over to Illustrator, where you're working in vector graphics, which is made of points and pen tool. It's a bit more mathematical, which is beneficial for when you want to have a lot of freedom to blow something up really big, potentially, or have a lot of size variation. So there's pros and cons to vector, rasterized. I don't want to get into too much detail, that's not what this video is about. But Adobe has a great app that I learned about recently that kind of combines those two programs, I think, where you can freehand sketch in a vector mode. And that app is called Adobe Fresco, and you can use it on your iPad, which is what I did for this entire project, believe it or not. So let's dive into Fresco and get this thing finalized. So just for my own entertainment, I named all these animals, gave them a little story in my mind. This is Ziggy, the tiger. We got Leon, the lion. Jabari, the giraffe. Rocco, the bear. You know, people think when I say bear, I'm saying bear, but I mean beer. Beer? Anyways. We got Matisse the monkey. We got Django the alligator. We got Bonbon the elephant. And for this bird, I don't know, let's call him Quandale. All right, on to placing them. So I did my best placing everything, and after that, it was just a matter of inking everything and making it look clean, and then of course coloring it and cleaning it up. This took a while. You're seeing it in fast motion here, but what it actually looked like was more like this. But it was nice being able to work on it on an iPad because I was able to just kind of do it while I was watching TV or sitting on a couch, or whenever I had a spare moment, I would come in, color. It's pretty therapeutic, pretty fun. And eventually it started to come together and start looking like a bit of a finished product. And all that was left really was to add a background and send it over to the friends in Montreal. So I finished the illustration, I sent it in to their graphics team. They added the little labels and extra things that the can needed. The can was printed, produced, filled with the beer itself, of course. And here's how it came out. Enjoy. And there it is. So awesome. Thank you so much to the brewery for choosing me to be your illustrator on this. This is really cool for me. I love seeing it. I love having it as a tangible thing that I can enjoy a drink out of, and just enjoy as a can. I love it. If any of you would like to check out the brewery, see what else they have, feel free to check out the description where I'll have all their socials and all their contact info. And I thank you so much, guys, for watching this, and stay tuned for more cool art projects to come. All the best. Peace out, guys. See you next time.